We have huge updates on everything that is happening in Backstage and AEW between MJF, CM Punk, Hangman Page, Tony Khan. Everything is here in this video. As always, timestamps in the description down below. Tony Khan is doing a meeting with the talent at AEW Dynamite. This was first reported by Fightful Select. There is a mandatory talent meeting ahead of the live show. Tony Khan will be present. However, there's not much detail. There's not that many details behind this. Now, the report noted that talent told them they expect the meeting to address some of the rumors of unrest, contract inquiries, and personal issues, as well as those things being leaked. Obviously, there seems to be a lot of stuff that is leaked to the media these days that doesn't necessarily paint a positive image around AEW. A lot of things have been said about Tony Khan and the way that he's conducting business. A lot of things have been talked about publicly on social media about backstage heat and drama and bad booking, and there's just a lot of things happening. And obviously, Tony Khan is trying to nip this in the bud. And truth be told, that is a great thing. That is what a great leader does. When things seem to get out of hand, you got to pull everybody together. That starts at the very top with leadership. This is a move that I very much respect, and I hope that AEW gets these things figured out. There's a difference between criticizing creative and criticizing a company. And I think there are some issues that AEW has had that need to get fixed. Just like WWE had some issues that they needed to get fixed. And now we're starting to see a change in WWE's product. And we're also noticing that AEW is actually improving creatively, and I think that has a lot to do with WWE actually making them try a little bit harder. So this is one of those stories where I think, look, AEW has to fix the problem, and the best way to do that is by holding meetings. AEW is still a relatively young company, and they're going to make mistakes. People have to understand that. You have to respect that. And it's okay to make mistakes, but it's a reminder that when there are mistakes and when people are speaking out, you got to do something to fix that. This is one of those things where I'm very happy Tony Khan is doing that. But now it leads us to CM Punk, because CM Punk, on the other hand, he has addressed a lot of the reports lately. And, you know, I think this is one of those things where a lot of people, they're going to be happy, they're going to be unhappy. But CM Punk did come out publicly and spoke with Sports Illustrated. He was asked if he feels creatively fulfilled in AEW. He said yes, and he noted that you try not to put too much stock in internet rumors. He said Twitter is not real life, and a lie makes its way around the world twice before the truth puts his boots on or gets out of bed. Punk also continued and said, if I addressed every rumor, I'd be here all day. I love AEW. It's not a competition of who loves it more and who's the heart and soul or who's this and that. AEW allowed me a second chance to do what I do best, and that's professionally wrestle. Now, keep in mind, there's been some rumors that CM Punk has not been happy in AEW. So CM Punk publicly coming out talking about this is very much a babyface move. Punk also commented on backstage friction in the company, noting that what has been made public is just one side of the story. He says it's one side of the story. My locker room is never closed. It's always open. Anybody who wants to DM Dave Meltzer some bullshit can come talk to me about it. It's not macho, stupid bullshit. I'm an adult. Come talk with me. Regarding the reports that CM Punk went off the script during his promo, he said he was simply trying to get interest from fans and sell tickets. That's what I'm here to do, make people want to see what happens next. I'm trying to sell tickets to the live events. That goes back to me saying Twitter isn't the real world. Twitter is a bunch of people that don't really care about your opinion. They want to find like-minded opinions that share their worldview. And I'm trying to tell stories, sell tickets, and get people to tune in on Dynamite. And quite frankly, he's done that. He has created a lot of interest in the story between the backstage heat with Hangman Page and the drama and all of these different things. Plus, this is all happening right as he's about to defend his championship against Jon Moxley to unify the world titles. Now, I also want to point out something. I find this to be very incredibly important because I actually do agree here. There's a lot of people who use social media or YouTube comments, and they get pissed off when other people don't think like them. And truth be told, that is something that doesn't sit well with me. It never has sit well with me. My job here is to analyze pro wrestling from my perspective. It's not right. It's not wrong. I've never said it was right. I don't pretend my viewpoints are the most correct, right? It's just the way I view wrestling. And if you enjoy that, that's great. But I prefer to have people also disagree with me. The problem is, just because you disagree doesn't mean you can't disagree, but you have to have a healthy conversation on social media, whether it's wrestling, sports, music, whatever it may be. The thing is, you need to come together and have a civil discourse. And unfortunately, when it comes to social media and YouTube comments and people typing on the computers, they believe that their opinion is always right, and they believe that you're the bad guy if you don't agree with them, and that is a terrible way of doing things. And I think CM Punk makes a really good point about this. When it comes to these internet rumors and everything like that, you know, we always talk about it. You got to hear both sides of the story, but we can only analyze what stories we know and what is made publicly. So sometimes it's a good look, sometimes it's a bad look, but for CM Punk, for him to publicly come out, I felt like was a babyface move, and honestly, I don't have a problem with him doing it. As far as backstage heat on CM Punk goes, we'll see how this all ends up going, but I don't know what to expect, and truth be told, I really don't care. I think it's time for AEW to focus on the future, and that is what's most important, and I don't think the negativity surrounding these stories helps AEW in the slightest, and that's why AEW could very well be bringing back MJF very soon. Now, as you guys know, I covered the story of WWE bringing back Johnny Gargano, and a lot of that credit goes to Slice Wrestling, who nailed that report. Now, today, Slice Wrestling dropped a very interesting report. So basically, the original dispute between MJF and AEW had to do with a contract restructure. This is where MJF wanted less years on his deal so he could potentially leave. Now, Tony Khan refused and froze MJF's deal, which does not allow MJF to get paid or does not allow any time to run off his contract as long as MJF sits home. After some months have passed and cooler heads have prevailed, there is a chance AEW brings in MJF to return, and AEW officials are hoping for this to happen a lot sooner than later. AEW officials are realizing that with a blazing hot WWE product, which, by the way, Tony Khan has openly praised, a Triple H-led creative department and numerous big-name stars headed back to WWE, it will become harder for AEW to compete. Very fair observation. AEW is hoping to have MJF back sooner rather than later, and one of the offers presented to MJF is a World Championship run and a CM Punk vs. MJF blockbuster match. As we obviously get ready for AEW All Out, I think it is very evident that if MJF is going to return, it is likely to happen tonight, August 24th, 2022, or it's going to happen literally at the AEW All Out pay-per-view. I think it is very, very, very important that AEW main events tonight with the Unification Championship match. They need to have a definitive winner, and that is how I would bring back MJF. And for those who think he should be a babyface, based on his last promo that he did before he left AEW, he needs to come back as a heel. Now, keep in mind, this is a wonderful time for MJF because if there is ever an opportunity for him to go to WWE, this is the type of run that is going to guarantee him big money. And again, if you're AEW, there might be a serious situation going on, but for the sake of business, you want to make money, you want to get those big TV deals. Regardless of the drama with MJF, you bring him back, make him happy. Even if he ends up leaving, you still benefit from it. I want to see what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.